probably my main point, or I should say one of my first points when it comes to motivation, is really, really setting realistic expectations right from the get-go and understanding, right, already having a plan B or maybe even a plan C to say, my motivation is not always going to be high, right? But when it does go down, what's some self-talk things? What are some kind of realistic responses to being low on motivation? Because if you already kind of think that ahead, it's massive. Like, honest to God, folks. So that's the thing. One is just understanding and really understanding and being clear. I can't say that enough. Clear and certainty, right? Especially during times of uncertainty, but just in general of life anyways, is something that is like one of the most powerful, things that you can possess. But it's never talked about, and it's not like a concrete thing. As with motivation, motivation is not concrete. It's not quantified. It's not like, oh, I need to hit blank, whatever level or whatever you want to call motivation. If I hit that, then I'm good forever. Like, I'm good until I'm 100. I'm good until I hit my goal. Like, no, motivation is dynamic, right? Motivation is mostly up here. It can happen with results that can drive it, or maybe motivation helps drive results, which I'm going to talk about that in a second. But it's just something, one, that is so different for you almost like on a week-by-week basis. So it goes back to that primary point. Setting your realistic expectations of how your mind is going to be almost like a week-by-week basis, especially if you run a business or just you're flat out with business. Like, you just know there's going to be really rough weeks. Now with COVID, just your stress, right? The reworkings of your business potentially that you had to do, that you certainly didn't plan for back in January or February. But if you already know that, listen, when shit hits the fan, I'm going to do one of two or maybe three things, right? And that could be, I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just saying is having a response or at least a level of, this is how I'm going to respond. And maybe that is scaling back significantly. So when motivation goes down, you don't feel guilty. It's kind of like, you know what, I'm having a down week. That's fine. I'm having a down week. However, going back to my client story, one particular client that really goes off and on a lot, but what we chat about, okay, a lot is your actions, right, should always, your habits should always sync with your desired identity. Your habits should always sync with your desired identity, meaning that when motivation is down, maybe you travel a lot, you don't have control, you're having lunch meetings or family comes over or, whatever it is, kid problems, and you just can't, what you want to do is just be able to say, okay, my day is already effed up. Like, it's effed up. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to really go down that rabbit hole way further and say, now this just sucks. This is throwing me way off. I can't do it. It's so hard. I can never, I'm not going to have a perfect day or a perfect week. Like, if you're just going to constantly, which most people do, right? They just go down that rabbit hole so hard. And then it's just, right, negative talk and just that confidence issue, your energy that you're basically bringing upon yourself is usually probably, I'd say, 5 times more than, say, something that threw off your motivation, right? Like, it probably is. Not always, but it probably is. So what I try to tell my clients that kind of go off on, is just what actions you should always be thinking, okay, like, your identity is, well, I want to lead my fitness, right? Because that's it. Like, I'm all about, fit leaders. You should be looking at taking ownership, right? True ownership, showing either yourself first, yourself always, you're showing yourself first, showing then your family, and then showing maybe your, employees or just your work, whatever it is. You want to be a fit leader. You want to lead your own fitness. And so understanding that, hey, shit's going to fly off the pan, right? Constantly with life. But you know what? I'm still going to, I'm going to have that healthy, lunch, or I'm going to get some movement in today. I have to, right? Because the more days that you basically start to line up that are off your so-called track. So when you have a health path and more days that you're basically off that health track, well, then you're further and further away from that trail. Would you agree? Right? So if it's one day off the trail, you can make your way back to the trail. If it's an hour, you can make your way back. And what I find is doing micro tasks, even though it's maybe almost like so nowhere near, like you had an hour of workout planned, and now just all of a sudden shit hit the fan with your work or life, whatever it is, And it's kind of like, I don't have time anymore. I do not have time to definitely do an hour workout today. However, I'm going to still get 7,000, 8,000 steps in. I'm going to get, I like doing rep goals, right? When it comes to exercise, not food for a second. So when it comes to like exercise, I'm like, if you can't get a workout in, because it's just whatever it is, right? The morning was, as soon as you woke up, your emails, you checked, and it's just like, you're in emergency mode. So I'm like, okay, set a rep goal. And over the course of the day, okay, if you can, I mean, honestly, maybe you just truly can't, right? But even just get for a walk to clear your damn head, like literally just like 5 minutes could probably help just lower your blood pressure, for God's sakes. But I'm like, maybe it is like you're going to get 50 push-ups done today. And maybe you do literally pockets of 5 push-ups times 10 over the course of the entire day. So when you lay your head at night, you're still like, you know what? Like, I agreed. My day went off, but I still at least got some movement in, and purposeful movement. I like the word purposeful.